Almost a year ago today, I played a game on this channel versus Apex Chess. The aim was to define the difference between certain ELO levels and allow you guys to see exactly how differently we think. It's a really simple and cool concept, and in today's video we're going to be bringing it back. One of the biggest debates in the chess world is if online ELO actually matters. Chess traditionalists will argue that my 2300 ELO online means absolutely nothing because it wasn't played with real pieces. Well, in today's video we'll be taking on popular chess creator and 2000 FIDE rated WCM Niusha. We'll be playing 2 games across both of our channels, so if you would like to see the other game, I'll leave all the links in the description below. Throughout the video, you'll hear the calculations of both players on their turns, however we won't be able to hear each other. Before we do get into today's video though, I do need to pay my bills and plug my coaching. If you're feeling like you've been stuck at any chess rating recently, I have plenty of coaching options on my brand new website for you to choose from. You guys can now see testimonials from my current students, alongside all the necessary information to get started. New students can also get 25% off their first lesson with code FIRST, or you can get the 5-lesson package, which will get your 5th lesson completely free. Without further ado though, let's get right into the game. Okay, so we are playing against a WCM from an Iranian WCM. Hopefully Jack from the future has given you a good intro to this video. Ignore the scores. I'm 2-1 in bullets, which is not so not a great reflection of our skill level. Niusha is a 1900 FIDE, maybe higher, I think 2000 FIDE. So definitely these ratings and these scores don't reflect how she actually plays. We're playing an East Indian defense, which I'm going to play knight f3 against. I know a lot of you, when you started watching this channel, I would have played the London system against virtually anything, but I have matured as a chess player and I play some newer openings now. So we're gonna go with my opening theory. I do need to study it a little bit more. We're getting a Queen's Indian. Whenever you play a Queen's Indian, don't pre-move castles here, because they can also sneak in this move bishop a6, which attacks the pawn. A lot of the time people castle and blunder that pawn. So just a little bit of a healthy tip there is to not pre-move castling on that move. I think an idea here is d5. Usually I like going for knight c6, d5, and knight e5. Therefore, if the pawn is taken, we win the bishop on the other side. You might notice that I didn't really explain anything about the opening I played in this video. I don't really tell you guys why I play certain moves or what they do in general. One of my most recent uploads is a video on building your own opening repertoire and how to memorize all of the moves. So if you guys would like to understand your opening some more, feel free to check out that video. Basically, I use a combination of the Niuchessa study and the sponsor of today's video, ChessMind.AI. If you're not keen on making a custom repertoire from scratch, ChessMind has a variety of 50+ detailed courses crafted by Chilean Grandmaster Mauricio Flores that you can add to your repertoire. However, if you're feeling more creative, you can create a custom course on the website by inserting a Niuchessa study PGN. From there, you can practice all the moves in your own repertoire like you would on any course. ChessMind is so ridiculously good value for money as well. It's just $5 per month to get access to every feature on the website. And if you use my link in the description, you can get 30% off any purchase as well. I'll leave a link to their Discord in the description too, because the founder of the website is incredibly hands-on and you can literally just request a feature be added to the website and there's a good chance it'll happen. If you want to find out more about ChessMind, feel free to take a look at the in-depth videos I've left in the description on the website. But enough yapping, let's get back into the game.
The center somehow. Also d6 looks nice with planning of playing c5. I guess I will play d6 here and I will just don't let him to play knight to e5 anymore.
Fence for the black pieces, but I also enjoy playing it with the white pieces. So it's kind of double-edged, I guess. It's just very, very solid if you know what you're doing for black, but I feel like a lot of people that play the Queen's Indian don't really know what they're doing. I assume that this is going to be an exception. d6 does seem correct, not flying forward with that d5 move. Is c5 coming? I want to imagine c5 is coming. I do want to prepare e4 here, but if I play rook e1, c5, am I gonna have to push? Pushing doesn't seem terrible, actually. Takes. Okay. I don't mind playing d5 in that position if c5 comes.
And I don't want that because he will get the center. So I guess I will play knight to e4 now to avoid playing e4 for white. And after knight e4, if he takes, I will just take back with the bishop, and that's fine. I play here. And if he just try to push this knight away, then I will play f5, I guess.
Positions. Okay, knight e4 is interesting. I can't play knight d2 because this comes with tempo on my queen, so I can't try and pin this knight. Yeah, this is an annoying move because I really would like to open up the bishop, so maybe a move like d5 is something that we want to go for here. And blocking the bishop out, because I don't want to trade off my g2 bishop. D5, takes. I don't mind it. I don't really have a home for this bishop yet. I'm hoping that it'll end up on the b2 square. A lot of the time in these Catalan setups, I don't like bringing the bishop out like this. Maybe instead of rook e1, I could have played bishop g5. But right now, I think that playing d5 doesn't seem terrible, and I want to play it.
My knight. So I need to decide what I want to do here. Should I take the knight or should I take on d5 with my pawn? So let's calculate this together. Because if I take the knight, it will take back, and I should do something also here, but I guess that's not a bad idea, because then I have bishop f6 as well, attacking the pawn on c3. And what about if I played this move here? Maybe he will get some isolated pawn after taking. No, then he can also take with the knight. That's the problem. That's the problem. What is the best move here? Maybe just taking and then bishop to f6. Yeah. If he takes, yeah, let's do that. And if he takes on e6, then I will take with my f pawn. So I will play this and attacking the pawn on c3.
The right call. So takes. If they ever want to take in the center, we're just going to undouble our pawns. Okay, this is a threat immediately targeting a pawn and looking at our two knights. We could play bishop b2. This is a very boring spot for our bishop to be on there. Queen d3 makes the most sense, but queen d3 does allow knight a6 and knight c5 to come with tempo, which I don't love. If I play queen c2, takes, and my pawn is hanging. But there is this move queen d2. I'm trying to find something bad about it, and I don't really see something bad about it, just defending the pawn. We're preparing to play e4 on the next move. We are blocking out our bishop. Maybe it's not a big deal. We also have this move, knight d4. Don't sleep on knight d4. Okay. Knight d4, if takes and takes, I've undoubled my pawns. Knight d4, if they push, I'm just gonna go back. Knight d4 seems like an interesting move. We're also threatening to take. Okay, so the last move that I calculated maybe feels like the most interesting one. Not sure if it's the best. Queen d2 does seem like a viable option also.
How defending this pawn, also putting the knight in the center. And what should I do now? Because he's also now looking somehow at my e6 pawn and putting more pressure on it by the knight and the pawn. What about e5 here? e5 is also good, I guess, because then he cannot take this pawn anymore, and the pawn structure is fixed like this and he cannot change it. So I guess e5 will be interesting. e5. Yeah, let's play e5. And maybe in future I can just do something like this to open the position.
Yeah, and push. Okay, so taking was a little bit more subpar, I think, because it undoubles the pawns. But this also deactivates the bishop. I'm not really sure where I should be going here. We have a couple of options. This feels like it might get stuck. There is knight e3, but again, we don't want to block out this bishop. Knight b3 seems okay, but again, a little bit passive. Knight c2 feels like the best option, allowing the knight to re-enter the e4 square. this bishop is maybe going to be a little bit of a problem this game. Maybe it goes out to a3 at some stage. I'm thinking that knight c2 is going to be the best bet.
I don't know why to c2, but I guess, yeah, maybe that's the best place for the knight for now. And I'm looking to this square for my knight. I guess it will be very nice to put the knight on c5. Yeah, why not? Or first I can just try to trade these two bishops, because the bishop on f6, it's a bad bishop, and if I just get a chance to trade this, it will be good, and then I can put my knight to c5. So first let's play bishop to g5, trying to exchange these two bishops.
But when it's a simple trade, you know, trading off a bishop for a knight, okay, that's an interesting move. Let's go back just so I can continue explaining. When there's a bishop for a knight, let's say there's a bishop on e3 and a knight on c5, it's a lot more difficult for your opponent to realize that the bishop taking here might be really good for one side and really bad for one side, for the other side. So I really like making those imbalances and making my opponent think from a positional standpoint. So they're trying to get rid of their bishop. I think they're also kind of realizing that their bishop isn't too great either. They also get their queen active in the process. I would like to just play e4 though, and kind of ignore. I don't want to take first because I give them, you know, I let that queen in. But I guess the idea is that after here takes and takes, maybe there is just knight a6 now. And the knight is going to end up being very strong on this square. So maybe, can we go e3 as a safety measure? Knight e6. No, I think that we're just going to play e4, go with our plan. And we'll take with the queen here.
Second. Oh, e4, so he didn't take it, but now I can just take the bishop, right? Because that's what I want. And then I can just play knight to a6, knight to c5, bringing my knight to c5, which I really like it. So I guess I will just take this bishop. And then I will go for knight a6.
Back, I'm seeing this plan of g6 and maybe trying to spring forward f6. Okay, they're going for this plan. Again, I'm not too worried about it. Let's just jump the knight in. We have to worry about this square. So the question is now, queen c2 or queen d2? I like queen d2 a little bit more, just because it stays on this active diagonal. Although it doesn't add a defender. So let's say queen d2, what are they going to play? Maybe queen g5. I quite like just this move, and then I kind of want to bring my queen over to e2. Okay, I like this idea of rerouting the queen over to e2. There was also queen d1, which maybe was an oversight that I missed this move.
I do now. What about g6? Then I will take this square from the knight, and also and I saw also something more interesting, maybe playing queen to g5, pinning the knight. Maybe queen g5 is very interesting.
But in this case, we can get the knight to f5 like this, which maybe is a call for g6, so they bring their queen over. I'm gonna go and... Okay, do I want to make this commitment? It's the first thing I need to think about. If I make this commitment, what are the consequences going to be? Queen h5 maybe first is going to be annoying, meaning that I can't get my own queen there. So I think that queen e2, yeah, I should have played queen d1 the first time around, but queen e2 is going to be fine here as well.
Go queen to g6 to attack the pawn, or what about g6, which I said before, g6 with the planning of playing f5. Very interesting, right? I guess it's very interesting. I want to try this g6 move. With f5, maybe it looks crazy, but I kind of like it.
Okay, so they've played g6, not allowing our knight to come in. And the idea, I think, is just f5, which I think is a threat that we have to respect. Okay, so rook f1 is my first thought. Rook f1, if f5, we can play f4. Takes, takes, takes. Rook f1, f4, f5, f4. Takes, takes, takes. Maybe we have rook f1 there. Takes, takes. Not really liking that. If I go h4, I'm thinking that just this will come. Actually, let's go h4. I've just kind of seen something. If either of these moves, maybe we can jump in with the knight on g4.
I guess still queen h6 will be the best because I want to play f5 next. Or queen to e7 is also good. But I prefer to stay in this diagonal, I don't know why. But what will happen after this move? I should go to g7 and it's fine. I guess it's fine. And then I can play f5. Okay, he played this. And now I want to play f5. Whatever he does, I will play f5.
Queen g7. Okay. If I play queen f3, there's gonna be this, so that's not so great. Can I get away with something like f4? Takes, takes, I'm blundering a pawn there. Can I f4 here? That's not great either. Knight f2. I'm gonna go ahead with f4. I think that we need to do something dramatic in this position. Because we are running out of time.
This. After it takes, then I can just take on c3, right? Or not? I guess. But maybe first f5, and after that I can just take. Oh my god, it's not easy to calculate this with only 3 minutes on the clock. What about h5? What about h5? Because f5 it's good, but it looks so risky to me. I don't know which one is the best option for here. I really don't know. I will play f5. I don't know. I will play f5. I will just follow my feelings. And then I will just take this. After it takes, then I will take on c3.
Okay, let's take. Do we take? We must take. Okay, let's take here. Okay, they're taking with the queen, but now I can play this, I think, right? Now e5 looks very, very strong, and I'm getting a passed pawn here. Unless I'm missing something, my knight is very, very defensive here and covering very important squares. My queen is defending this pawn. I'm ready and prepared to play e6. And I think, especially in low time, my position feels a lot easier to play. I'm just going straight away for this e6 move. I think that h5 is the correct way to go here. Let's go h5. If they take, I'm going to take like this. Okay, I'm thinking maybe even like a knight h3.
Check. I don't think it's a good one, but what else should I do? Maybe this move. Oh no. Maybe this move. Just bringing the bishop for taking this weak pawn. He has lots of weaknesses, But I should also be careful about my king side. If he takes, I'll just take back with my pawn. I guess it will be fine.
Oh, that is annoying. Okay, I'm gonna bring the bishop in. I'm forfeiting this square. It's not what I wanted.
No, what? Knight e4, maybe? Maybe. It's a very good place for my knight, and I will just go here. Back to the place. Queen f3, okay. What about this move? Now I'm just playing. I don't know if it's correct or not. I hope it's not a blunder. Knight f6, I want to give a check here on g4.
Okay, we're trying to ward this knight away. That's a very, very dangerous move. I might have to... Okay, we're going down here now. Okay, this isn't the best looking position. Check here is annoying. Takes check here. Okay, I think this is just going to be a game that's won on time alone. I think that... Ooh, but queen takes h5 is a blunder. Okay, I should have played rook g2 there as well. But now we're just going to try and flag. Ooh, there was a blunder there.
Ooh. No way, no way, no way. Oops. Oh no.
There's still a fighting chance in this game. That was a free piece. That's a free rook. Okay. There is a free pawn on a1. And I'm picking this up as well. Oh my god, this might be the... Oh, I just blundered my rook. Okay, that might be one of the worst time scrambles I've ever played in. But we should pick up the win now. That was a very, actually a very instructive middle game. It's a shame that we're both over the board players and this time scramble was a little bit dodgy, but we'll jump into a game review, a collaborative game review right now. We get a Nimzo Indian, which is just with e6. The idea is that you're going to open up the bishop very early on, with the potential of playing d5 at some point later on. Knight f3 is the anti-Nimzo, which is my way of transposing into the Catalan. And you play the Queen's Indian defense, which is really cool. I actually really like the Queen's Indian. I think it's just a really, really solid way of dealing with these fianchetto setups from white. But we are still in theory. Let's maybe skip towards where the first big decision came in. So bishop g2, bishop b7, castles, knight c3, and d6. Actually, okay, d6 is not the correct way to play. Apparently, according to the engine, you're supposed to play d5, which I have played in a lot of over-the-board games, d5, and I like to go knight e5, so this pawn is pinned. So d6 apparently d5 straight away, which is something that I didn't play until a little bit later. So yeah, d5, and then I suppose e5 and e4 would just be very good for white. Just, you know, this bishop, it kind of just fast-forwarding to what we ended up with anyway. Instead, I kind of wanted to support the e5, e4 advancements, but I kind of did it in the wrong way. So I played rook e1, which is still, you know, okay. You ended up going with knight e4.
Why knight e4 is not a good move? I really like knight e4 here.
Ooh. What is that? Okay. Oh. This is a kind of crazy move.
Knight g5.
Knight g5.
I didn't see this move.
Okay, this one's maybe a little bit out of our pay grade. Of course, the idea is that we're going to take this first. With our bishop, the knight is pinned to the other bishop, which is much more important than the knight. So if queen takes, we're going to play knight takes, hitting the queen as well. If the queen does, and there's not really a way to avoid this, you have to take, because if the queen moves out the way, there is this check, and you're winning the rook as well. So, yeah, that's a really interesting idea. I've not really seen that before.
Yeah.
Where you are just forced to take and give up this piece. C6 is forced, and this does look like a much better position for white.
Yeah, that's true.
Not something that I found there. I was kind of stuck with the idea that if I play knight d2, you're just gonna play this. Actually, out of curiosity,
I guess after
If
knight
knight g-
g2, I would play f5, maybe. I'm not sure. I was just thinking about f5 the whole game.
yeah, I was thinking what about this? Oh, if knight takes c3 here, there's queen c2, threatening checkmate.
Oh yeah.
And the bishop is also hanging. So that's a really tricky line to see, actually. If knight here, you were thinking f5. I probably would have taken in the center here. This is a free pawn now, so I probably would have taken. But just taking here, and then the bishops are going to be traded off. I was thinking that this isn't really something I want to play. So instead I go for d5, which is a mistake now, but it was good before. The whole idea is basically this knight is now hanging.
Was
there's
my
not really
move
anything.
correct? What I played here?
Knight takes d3 is the only move.
Yeah.
So if he takes d5, I'm going to play knight takes d5, and I'm threatening the bishop now. I'm cutting this off. Maybe eventually I can go, if a subpar move like h6 is played, I can play knight d4. And I'm hitting the knight as well, and suddenly this white has a whole lot of activity. So you need to play knight takes c3, which he did. B takes is the only option, and this was a kind of tricky move to figure out what to do. Apparently I didn't play the top engine moves. I was kind of deliberating. Queen c2. I had a reason that I didn't want to play queen c2. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, because of the d pawn, right? I could just take the d pawn for free.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and queen d3 I didn't like because knight a6 and knight c5.
Yeah.
Seemed
Here
very
I really
strong,
like my
so-
position. I feel it's
Yeah,
nice.
it ended up being quite nice, huh? But I thought knight d4 was okay. Apparently e5 is just very strong, which is the correct move, the move you found. And then knight c2 is the way to continue, and I'm looking to play c4 and knight e3. I was hoping that you wouldn't play bishop g5, because I really like the idea of sitting my bishop on e3 after I push e4.
Yeah, here I
so
was
it's a
thinking
shame.
of exchanging my bad bishop with your good bishop, which was so annoying maybe later. That's why I played bishop to g5 to trade these bishops.
There is also bishop e6, which is very difficult to defend this pawn. Like if you play queen d3, there's going to be, I mean, your queen, all of your pieces are kind of suffocating, I guess. So this is a pretty good position for black, but I think that bishop g5 is fine as well. The engine agrees. The engine thinks it's slightly better for black. Apparently f5 is good here. I wouldn't have guessed that. But yeah, I was thinking, if I take here, the queen's going to get active. I don't really like this, so I'll just play e4, shut this bishop out forever, and the position goes on. So we have takes and queen takes.
Oh, it was with
it
was a good move. Bishop takes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's the. Oh no, there are other moves, but like realistically, the knight's gonna get into e3. I think is that the idea? If you play a wasted move. Oh, f4 is the problem here. So f4. If you take, I'm gonna take with the g pawn. And suddenly, the rook might get to the f1 square, and this is a big attack. And not to mention, this bishop's going to be a bit suffocated right here. Just some intuitive moves is going to be really good for white.
That's right.
So taking on c1 is good. Knight a6, I think, must be one of the best plans. Just getting this knight active finally. Also, knight g7 probably interchangeable for the same square. So knight a6. And what did I end up playing here? I played knight e3. So I was kind of thinking that I could transpose this into some sort of Roy Lopez, where the knight ends up on
5, yeah.
5. just in a little bit of a weird order. Also, I just, if the knight doesn't go to e3, where does it go, is kind of what I thought. I did see this plan later that the engine is suggesting now, which is bishop c8, trying to get this bishop on a more active diagonal. It's a little bit unintuitive to play it now and disconnecting the rooks, but I also thought this was a decent idea later on. Knight c5 though is probably the most intuitive plan, putting pressure on this pawn, and the knight's on an outpost. Well, not quite an outpost, but just a very good square where I can't kick it from its position. And I also don't have a dark square bishop to get rid of it.
Exactly.
The next move I played was pretty stupid. I realized this when I played. My whole plan was I kind of just wanted to get on these light squares. For some reason, I decided that it needed to be through d2, whereas I probably could have just played queen d1, and this would have been fine. But I played queen d2, and then I realized that your queen could come to g5, which was not the best idea. I assumed that queen g5 I could maybe play h4, but then I didn't like queen h5, which kind of meant that if I wanted to play queen e2, I would have to trade off the queens, which I didn't really want.
Yeah.
But queen g5 was played, and I played queen e2, which is a mistake, a positional mistake. I think a lot of moves in this game were positional mistakes. We are playing a Catalan after all, where bishop c8 is kind of the remedy to this position.
Yeah.
And g6.
G6.
I thought this was a good move.
I played this because I wanted to play f5, and
Yeah,
I was
and
thinking
also,
about opening some lines for the game.
Yeah, it also just blocks the f5 square from the knights. I thought I had some nice tricks for you here, but I kind of forgot in my calculations that the g7 square is now available for the queen to retreat back into. So I thought if h5 and queen h6, I thought that I had this, and then I could, if this, I could check and I could win the queen. But I kind of just forgot that the queen can tuck back here.
Queen g7 was a very good place for my queen, because then I was just somehow defending the king side and also trying to push the pawns later.
Yeah, exactly. It was at this point where I was kind of realized how low on time I was, and that if I needed to do something now, and the best I could come up with was f4. Just trying to break open the position. I thought, okay, f5 doesn't seem like the end of the world, which you did play. I thought that I could come back. I didn't like playing e takes, because I didn't like that this pawn hangs at the end of the lines. So something like this, here, and queen takes g3 I wasn't very happy with. So I just played knight f2 in this position. I saw that this could be taken, but I thought maybe I can get some e5 business and start pushing the pawns this way.
Yeah.
So you did take like this, and I thought g takes was fine. I thought it made a lot of sense. Queen takes c3, a slight mistake in the position.
Not correct.
Yeah, because of this e5 move, and now I've got a big center and some pass pawns. After rook e8, I practically pre-move e6. It's a mistake slightly, but the position is coming back into my favor. Queen f6, very good move, kind of annoying. h5 is the only response. And now I feel like when you do get into a time scramble like this, it is important to address that a lot of these moves aren't going to be so great.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of the notations. I've got 3 blunders in a row later on. Yeah, we continue. The king goes to g7. Knight h3. We're just wrapping pieces around, trying to get something in. I really like this square g5 because I thought that the f7 square was also really nice. But then after this move, I was kind of scrambling a little bit. Apparently this is fine. I was thinking rook c1 didn't work because of this move. But we can play queen d2 and defend the pawn and pin the knight. If they play this, I play rook c3. Wow, and you just completely pin the knight, and you're gonna win 2 pieces for the rook.
Oh my god, yeah,
I think that's
winning for white. Yes.
In a position like this where, very, very unstable pawn structure, I think that the 2 pieces are definitely going to be better. Although it's a little bit difficult to prove that this bishop's going to be useful, but I guess the knight is just so powerful. So that would be the correct way to play. I didn't like that. I went for bishop f1. I knew this was probably not a great move, but I went for it anyway. This knight coming in was very annoying. I brought in the rook. Queen f6, a really nice move. I realized that I couldn't play Queen f2, which was kind of... I wanted to get to the g3 square, but I couldn't. So I had to go for Queen
But
f3.
according to engine, it's equal. It's so weird because in this case, I was thinking that I'm totally winning.
Yeah, I think you've just got the better winning. Well, it's more intuitive to play. So, just because an engine says that something is equal doesn't mean it's going to be. I mean, you can see that, like, once you play Queen Z, or Queen H4, it's a little bit better for black, and if white makes a slight inaccuracy, it's going to be a lot better for black.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, it's just kind of engine nonsense sometimes, but I think in this position, black is just always going to be slightly better because of how the king is super vulnerable. Bishop d3 I thought was pretty good, and then I realized how good knight f6 was coming in with this check, and this isn't the greatest. Rook g1 is the start of my triple blunder. Queen takes h5 is available here. Knight g4 check is the more intuitive move though. King h1 is my second.
I could take on e6. Wow.
What does this do?
I have no idea.
I'm not so sure. If we take bishop b7.
Ooh. Oh my god.
That is a nasty tactic, and this is going to be
imagine if I saw this move. Wow.
Wow. That would have been impressive. No, but it's actually... Oh, and I guess king g2, that tactic isn't available, because at this line you can just take, and there is no hanging knight. So
yeah.
King g2, again, the more unintuitive move to play. But king h1. This check I thought was nice. Apparently you can just go back and repeat moves, but I took. Queen takes h3. Here, I think that... Oh, wow, yeah, I had to play queen g2 because rook g2 hangs the rook.
Yes.
So queen g2 has to be played here. And then we go into this endgame, which, in any other circumstances will be a black win. But in a time scramble, anything can happen. There was... We'll skip through a bunch of this.
I have no idea how I lost this game. I really don't know.
For some reason in the game, I thought this was checkmate in 1, but I have the d4 square. I thought there was a pawn on c5 for some reason. I was worried that
no, I was also trying to find some checkmate patterns, but it was not easy. No, I didn't see anything.
Yeah, I think this is one of those end games that kind of you just have to keep running these pawns and play patiently. But in the time situation, you kind of want to end it. You want to get that checkmate. But it just wasn't anything really. Bishop c8. And here come a whole bunch of blunders. I think this was probably a big mistake, allowing my king to kind of start running.
Yeah,
the engine thinks that just rook h8 is going to be fine, but
why I took that?
Here's the first big mistake,
God.
which I didn't even see. I didn't take this for some reason. I just took the other pawn. After check here and here, we drop a bishop, but it shouldn't matter because of these two pawns.
It's still winning for black.
Yeah, still very, very winning. Even here.
Even here, yes.
Because of these two pawns.
But yeah, I just pushed the pawns in the wrong way. Oh my god.
I think, hilariously, I think f3 is probably like one of the only ways to really lose, or one of the only ways to start losing, and then this is the only way to really lose. But what's funny is, after this, I just immediately hung my rook back.
Then it would be a draw.
With rook e2. Yeah, but then you hung the bishop back, so this was like, I feel like a very high-rated game until we got into time trouble, and then it became a very low-rated game.
Yeah, actually it was a very nice game. I really enjoyed when it was in the middle game. It was very nice.
Yeah, it was a super, super fun positional game. I really like those ones. It's why I started playing the Catalan, because it's just so... you've got to pry away at the position and kind of be super patient with it. And a lot of people with black, ones that aren't WCMs most commonly, will get too impatient and will make some really aggressive move, and you'll win the game off of that. But when black is playing patiently, it's a lot more difficult to play with the Catalan. But this is a really fun game. We're going to have another game on Niusha's channel, which you guys can go watch. But yeah, that's the analysis for this game.